On this video, I'm going to discuss how to speed up your job search by discussing some winning resume tips. To get the full free video series on how to accelerate your job search, including videos on how to create a winning resume, as well as some actual resume and cover letter samples, please visit the website jobsearchmasterplan.com. I want to give you some important tips on submitting your resume online. First of all, you want your resume to be rich in keywords, as due to the overwhelming number of resumes most companies receive, there is no way they can read through every resume. So what frequently takes place is that the recruiters and companies scan the resumes for these keywords. So by making your resume keyword rich, you can greatly improve your chances of landing an interview. Many of the job search websites allow you to post your resume. There are both advantages and disadvantages of doing this. A benefit of doing this is that many recruiters will search these sites and will utilize these resumes. So if the right recruiter scans your resume and determines that you're a good fit for a company they're working for, then it can improve your chances of landing a job. However, if you're looking to go out on your own and contact one or more recruiters, many of these recruiters won't want to work with you if your resume is posted on all of these websites. So if you're thinking about contacting one or more recruiters directly, then you might want to think twice about posting your resume. But of course, the decision is completely up to you. If you do decide to post your resume, here are some of the most common websites where you can do this. There, of course, are many other sites where you can post your resume as well. Before talking about how to create a winning cover letter, I also want to briefly discuss how to find keywords for your resume. Perhaps the best method of doing this is to look up the different job descriptions on the job search websites to see what terms the companies are using. For example, if you are looking for a marketing position, then you might want to include keywords such as marketing, marketing research, and strategic planning. This is just a small sample, as there are probably at least a few dozen keywords you can use, and perhaps even a few hundred of them. You also want to list all of the different qualities that make you a good candidate for the position. Examples include self-starter, highly motivated, goal-oriented, problem solver, and other similar qualities. Besides using these keywords throughout your resume when talking about your objective, achievements, and past experience, you also want to place all of these keywords you weren't able to include in the body of your resume at the very end. This way, when they scan the resume for these keywords, your resume will be likely to stand out among the hundreds or even thousands of others. Now, some people will recommend that you turn the font color of these keywords to white so that when someone actually reads the resume, they won't see the keywords at the end. This isn't a bad idea, although some do say it's unnecessary and that you should just put a subhead at the end of your resume that says keywords, followed by all the different keywords you use. If you do have a separate keyword section, then I personally recommend turning the font color to white, but that's just my personal preference. I now would like to spend some time talking about how to create a winning cover letter. You always want to send a cover letter along with your resume. While some recruiters and hiring managers won't read them, many will expect you to include one. So while it won't hurt you to include a well-written cover letter, not having one can doom any chances of you receiving an interview. Just as is the case with your resume, the goal is to capture the attention of the recipient. As I mentioned earlier during this presentation, you want to list your strongest skills and achievements on your cover letter. And as I also mentioned, you want to make the cover letter targeted towards each job description. In fact, reinforce the job description for each position you apply for and link it with your top skills and achievements. If you have a good deal of experience, then make sure you also list this on your cover letter. Finally, you want to close the cover letter appropriately. Don't just tell the person that you look forward to hearing from them soon, but be a little bit assertive and politely ask them to reply back to this letter. Visit jobsearchmasterplan.com to view some sample cover letters. What should you do when you feel as if you are fully qualified for one or more positions you applied for but still can't seem to get an interview? If you are submitting all of your resumes online, then even if you are fully qualified, you still might not get an interview. So if you find that you are having difficulty getting an interview, you might want to do the following. Include a strong headline in your cover letter. Because the cover letter is the first thing they will see, if you can include a powerful headline that is in larger font than the rest of the text, there is a good chance they will at least read the cover letter, and then of course it's your job to make sure you win them over. An example of a good headline would be, "Here's 5 reasons why I'm the perfect candidate for the position," and then your cover letter would list the 5 reasons, which of course would correlate with the specific job description and do a great job of highlighting your skills and achievements. You also might want to try being creative in other ways. For example, you might want to include an attention-getting photo or inject some humor into the cover letter. Of course, you do need to be careful, as you want to make sure that you don't do anything that would offend the person reading your resume and cover letter. Because more and more people are emailing the resumes, you might want to try sending your resumes in other ways. For example, why not call the company to find out the fax number and simply fax your cover letter and resume? There are many online fax services that will allow you to send a fax inexpensively so that you don't have to pay a few dollars at a local print or copy store. You can also send your cover letter and resume via Federal Express or Priority Mail. This probably should be reserved for those jobs that you really want to get, as it would admittedly become quite expensive to submit every resume this way. I personally have received an interview taking this approach, as it was once a job that I really wanted, so what I did was send a 3-step letter campaign. I sent the very first letter through Federal Express along with my resume. I then sent a second and third follow-up via Priority Mail, and I did get the interview, but unfortunately I didn't get the job. But even though I wasn't hired, I was happy that I did everything I can to stand out to the hiring person. So if there is a job that you really want, then don't be afraid to do something like this. And of course you want to be aggressive in the follow-up. I'm not suggesting that you should constantly call the hiring person until they get sick and tired of you, but don't do what most job seekers do and just send a single follow-up email, as you want to follow up over the phone, and as I mentioned before, you can also send some follow-up letters as well. Now, you might be wondering why you shouldn't utilize these strategies right from the start rather than wait until you have difficulty getting an interview. To be frank, I personally would recommend using some of these strategies from the beginning. After all, the goal is to stand out from everyone else, so you can definitely go ahead and use these strategies right away. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. For more information on how to create a great resume and cover letter, including some actual samples, please visit the website jobsearchmasterplan.com. On this website, you will find more great information on how to accelerate your job search, including more free job search videos, free job and career search tips, free articles, and even a job search blog. This information will be useful for both those job seekers who are currently out of work, as well as those who are currently employed but are looking for a new job or an overall career change. Thanks again for watching this free video, and I wish you the best of luck with your job and career search.